people do not hesitate to really like make offers. Even sometimes like they top up the price a little bit just to make sure they're the one like getting the apartment. Just one sentence or one paragraph that is poorly written can lead to more problems. So
welcome to Millennials with Money. My name is Jonny. Thank you for joining me for this video. Let's get this money. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Buying your first apartment is a great milestone and a really exciting time. I was able to do this last year in Madrid, Spain. It was a really exciting time. And today I'm going to speak to one of my friends who lives in Paris, in France, who recently bought his own apartment here in the center of Paris. His name is Raphaël. You may have seen him if you've seen my Dubai vlog video. He's in there. We're going to talk to him a little bit about what the process was like, how he was able to afford his own apartment, and any tips, if he's got any, for people out there who may be wanting to do the same thing. So let's get right into the interview. Raphaël, welcome to the channel. Thanks for being on the video today.
thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do in life.
Alright, so my name is Raphaël. I've been working as a consultant in Paris for 6 years. And yeah, I just bought my first apartment, and on my spare time I watch a YouTube channel called Millennials with Money.
Yeah, congratulations on that apartment purchase. This is the apartment, we're in it right now. I have
Yes.
to say, I've seen it myself. It's a very, very nice apartment.
Thanks.
So again, big congratulations. So, buying a property for the
Yes.
first time is a big challenge, particularly in today's
Yes.
climate and particularly for young people. So how have you managed to do this over the course of time?
First step I took was really like planning what was my goal with this first acquisition, or like first buying, because like there are so many ways you can invest your money, and like you could do it really for the place where you will live, or you could do it like really on the financial purpose. So I really tried to set my mind on what I really wanted to achieve with this, and then I really like tried to set the research right, and with the time I had, because of course like searching for an apartment, either even if it's renting or like buying, it can take a lot of time. So it's really important to set your research like according to the time you can like afford to it, because if not, you will like end up getting frustrated because you don't have enough time to really look into what you want to look into.
Yeah.
So that's the first step I took. So.
And so the decision to buy for you, was it a preference over renting, for example?
Yes, there were two main reasons for me like to do so. It was just like you said, first switching from renting to buying. So all the money I put in the rent, I mean, I think it must be like the main reason for all the like people that buy their first property. It's like you pay a lot in rents, and you say, okay, I could be like paying as much money or even a bit more like to pay for a real investment, something that I will really own at some point. So that was the first motivation, and the second one for me was also to get a bigger space, because I was renting something very well located in Paris, but I wanted something bigger, so we can like have more people over. And I mean, I guess once you get older, you want some more space and stuff. So that was the two main reasons. So I took that into mind when I was searching for the apartment.
Cool. And what about in terms of saving up to make sure that you were able to afford this? Were there any steps that you put in place to make sure that you
Yes.
prioritize this goal over perhaps other things in life?
Yes, so I did a business school, so I still had a student loan that was like almost done before I get into this project, because obviously it would have been harder to have like two loans at the same time, and like with a bank it would have been harder to get a loan. And so the first step was trying to finish the student loan, and then like having good habits with savings. So I made sure I was saving already, like even before I think I knew I was going to invest in a new apartment. I was trying to make sure I save enough money so that it gives me room, like I mean, at least it doesn't close doors for future opportunities if I need to invest. And I saw that, okay, apparently I think I saved enough money to maybe invest in something later on, and if I turn this savings into maybe like like reimbursing a loan sometimes after, it should not exceed like what I was already saving, so I knew that I wasn't going to how can I say, like jeopardize my way of my lifestyle, or the way my spendings,
Yeah.
by doing so. So yeah, that was the first step I took, like knowing if like to put money on the side was like make sure I don't have any other debt like ongoing, and then trying to see if it's realistic to spend that much money into like convert the savings into a loan. Yeah,
Exactly.
mortgage.
So having a responsible debt to income ratio, essentially.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then, was there anything else you did to help you prepare for buying the house? Did you have a budget in mind? Did you have a plan
Yes.
in mind?
Yeah, so definitely, because I guess it's the same like in most of the big cities around the world, but obviously in Paris, prices for real estate are like pretty high. I mean, depending on what you want, of course, but like if you want some room, yeah, it's start to cost like some money.
Yeah.
And then so like it was really important to set a budget first. I mean, like a top budget like that I would not exceed, because obviously if I like so for it was important for two reasons. First, it was like to set the right like filters for the researchers. I mean, if I get to start the research and I see apartments I liked and they were like over the budget, I would be like tempted to say, oh, maybe I should visit them, but they exceed my budget. So again, it could get frustrating. And then the second thing is like obviously on the financial purpose, if you like if you don't set this top budget limit, when you will get to try to get to have your loan, to get your loan and like yeah, put all of your finances together, your saving and stuff, you will have like much more difficulties. I mean, it's obvious, but it was good to say that much more difficulties like to put the money together to have a good loan with a right interest rate. So it's really important to think that through like before you actually start the research, so that you don't have this frustration or these difficulties with the financing at the end of the process. So.
Definitely, I agree with this, and I know that from my own experience, there's been a couple of times I almost got carried away with properties that would have been outside my price range.
Yeah.
But then, like you say, you get to the frustrating point where you're like, if I make an offer on this, like I won't get approved for a loan and all that kind of stuff. So
it actually happened to me. Like I didn't do it at first, and like I mean, because I was tempting. At some point, especially when you look for an apartment for long enough, you're tempted to say, oh, maybe if I like look at the other prices like a bit higher, maybe I will find the right thing. But then you get to the realistic point where you say, no, okay, if I get this apartment, it's gonna be like too hard to actually get a loan and to go through. So no, I should like stick to that.
That's it. Like I think like one of the big things I learned through like buying my own property is that like it is possible, but just maybe not what you had in mind. You might have to compromise on quite a few things, and you might have to be a little bit more realistic with your budget about what you can afford. But still, yeah, buying your first property is a really good thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, compromising it was really a big thing, because like one of the obvious important point to also I mean tasks to also do when you start is like set all your criterias. And I know for example for me, I wanted an apartment that had like little to no works I mean
Like
renovations to
needed,
do
yeah.
when I get it, because I'm not too good at it, and I didn't want to get into the after the buying, like get into the phase when you need to look after all the renovation and stuff that could take like a lot of times after. So that was one of my main criteria, and I knew on this criteria I didn't want to compromise.
Yeah.
So if there was like an apartment on budget with a good location, but they had a lot of renovations to do, it was directly a no-go. Like I didn't want to hesitate or say, because that was something I really made up my mind to it like at first. But for example, some on other criterias, like for example maybe being in a quiet environment, having a lot of natural light coming into the apartment, I was willing to compromise on these criterias, because I knew it's hard to get the total package, to get it all. So on these ones, I was like, if I don't get it, it's a shame, but at least I could be good without it. So.
Exactly, yeah. And you mentioned the location. That's another compromise you perhaps come up because you have a really good location. We'll not specify too much, but you're in a very good, pretty central location in Paris.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, of course. But in terms of the size of the apartment, you can live in it, but perhaps for the same price that you got this apartment, you go out to Suresnes or you go out to one of the banlieue in Paris, and you can get a much bigger space.
Yes.
And that's what I ended up doing. I decided to live outside the center of Madrid.
Yeah.
So I compromised on the location to have a bigger space.
Yes.
But so there's more than one way to compromise. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about what works best.
It's really personal. It's really personal, and at some point, so that's a personal example. But like, I got to do maybe it was like 6 months ago, something like that. I really found another apartment that I was like really into, and I thought it was the one, and I ended up being like too slow to make the offer, so whatever. But like for some reason it didn't work out, and then I was left with this feeling where you absolutely want to find the exact same features or things you found in the first apartment you really wanted on the other you were visiting next. So I actually talked about it with my brother, who talked sense to me about it, saying you must not get stuck into the last apartment you really wanted, because it could be a trap. You set your mind into finding the exact same, and it's not a good thing, because you forget your first criteria. You forget where you can compromise or not, and it could be a trap. So
and it becomes an emotional decision in a sense as well. And this is where you come back to I really want to buy this, which is over my budget, because I just love the property. Like
definitely. Like,
of course, you have to like the property in a sense. You have to feel like that you'd be comfortable, you'd be happy there.
Yes.
But once it becomes an emotional decision, like rational, logical thinking can sometimes go out the window, which is it's also not a good thing. It has to be like the right decision for you, but it has to be a rational and well thought through decision to buy property.
You need to, because just like you said, it has to be like a bit of both. So if not, you could get in trouble.
yeah. All right, so we talked a little bit about your motivations, like how you were able to buy the property. Now let's talk a bit about the process. So France, no stranger to bureaucracy.
Yeah. So all right. So the main process, the main steps after you set your budget, your criteria and stuff. So you have like several ways to do it, I guess, just like in other countries. But either you do all your research by yourself, or you hire a real estate agency, or some kind of chasseur d'appartement, like
like an apartment hunter.
Yes, exactly. And so to do it for you, again, depending on the time you want to spend on researching for your apartment. When you find it, especially in Paris, you can make another visit, and you have to be quick to make an offer if you don't want someone else to make an offer like before you. Because like what I found is Paris is like the price of real estate. I mean, I guess it's the same in other countries as well, in other cities as well. But like the price of real estate really increased a lot during the past 15-20 years, and people do not hesitate to really like make offers at the same price. At the right price. Even sometimes like they top up the price a little bit just to make sure they're the one like getting the apartment. So you have in a sense you have to be quick. So if you really want to secure an apartment that you really like, once that is done, you can like have maybe 1 or 2 other visits, so you can make sure you didn't miss something on the first visit. You can go deeper into criteria and making sure you visit the apartment on another time of the day, so maybe it doesn't get too like if it's still like calm, or like is there like other people hanging around the location and stuff. So this kind of thing you could see. Then depending on if the apartment is like sold with a sold through a real estate agency or directly by the owner, you'll have like paperwork to do. Usually, if you made a offer at the same price, as the owner said it, you'll get. The offer will get accepted by default, but you could have several people. Sometimes it could happen like several people that made the same offer almost at the same time. some owners be like, I take the first person that did the offer at my price, and I go with this one. Some others, especially when they get to do the sale themselves, they try to maybe have like two or three people competing. I don't know if it's actually like the right way to do it or not, but I know I stumble on this case, and say they try to have like more information, more like background about you, so they can like make up their mind on which one of the two or three person they will choose to go further on for the sale. Then if you get accepted, so you really get you start to sign the what's it called? I forget in English.
Like the letter intent to buy the apartment. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So you get to sign that. It's like the first most important I think milestone. I mean, other milestones before like are also important, but like it's like the pre-contract. So it's really when you get to read a lot of all the paragraph, all the text that going to
Like you're bound to.
yeah, like exactly. So
Yeah.
you really need to be careful with everything you sign on it, because I mean usually it's not like it's not so tricky, but at the same time you never know. Like just one sentence or one paragraph that is poorly written, you never know what the outcome could be. It can lead to more problems. So it's not like being too picky, or like just trying to find anything that is not that you don't like in it. It's just like preventing both parties to have like disagreement on some part that could be like maybe like not very clear, or just make sure you understand the same thing for this letter of intent. So that's why this one was very like new, important, and like tricky for me, because I wanted to make sure I understand most of it, and all of it, of course. And then it's also the part where you start to find a notary. So either you go with the notary of the owner, of the seller, and if you have your own, well, they can both work on the sale. So I was fortunate to have my own notary that I knew through someone else, and I think it really helped me during the process. So and to finish over the process, so letter of intent. Then you have depending on the way you're going to finance the apartment, the buying of the apartment, either you go with a bank and you have like roughly up to 3 months to get the whole to get the loan, and the actual like
The sale contract.
the sale contract, the actual sale contract. Or it could be you could do it in less time if you're fortunate enough to like bring enough money on the table to pay for the apartment without like having the approval of a bank.
Yeah.
So up to 3 months if you go with a bank, less if you don't go with a bank. You could either use a broker for the mortgage, or find it yourself. I personally use the broker because I had less time to dedicate to finding the mortgage, and also like the interest rates were going up at the moment. I mean, they're still going up, so I wanted to make sure I had like the best interest rate I could. So I used a broker to help me on this one. So in between, of course, you get to talk with the owner or with the real estate agency that that handles the sale, so you can like ask further questions. You can like maybe revisit again, and then the day before you actually sign like for the last signature for the deal and the sale, you have one last visit just to make sure the whole apartment is in order, which means free to like no one's still living in there, in a good condition. I mean, so it doesn't have to be like super clean, unfortunately, but it has to be like decent, like in a decent condition. So you have to get verified it, of course. Still verify if there's no like like issues like about electricity or the walls, the floors that you didn't see at first, because if that's ever happen, you could be you have a right to say, okay, I'm signing the deal, but I want to remove part of the price, to make up for the renovation.
Yeah.
Because of these issues I saw in the apartment the day before. So that's something you could do. I don't think it happens a lot because that would mean like the seller like kind of hid like few things in the apartment. So it's not really a good thing to do, but it could happen. But and it's a right that a buyer has to when it's buying a new property. And yeah, that's it. So you do this last visit, then you have the D-Day where you sign. So your notary, the owner's notary, you all meet up together, and you have like this long this long reunion when you go through the whole deal, the whole contract.
Yeah.
Again, better to ask a lot of questions, more questions if you need than necessary, just to make sure you understand what you have the right to do, what you don't like. Because like some people think they can call out the seller like weeks or month after they have bought the property.
Yeah.
But nope. Like once you sign, like you take the responsibility for a lot of things that are going to happen in the apartment. So it's really important on at this step of the process that you make sure that you really again understand everything, and that if you have like any doubt or something that can come up weeks or month later, that is get like treated right now. So either it's written, either you have like some kind of other deal on the side, but like making sure it's not like it didn't stay like quiet and no one talked about it. Because if you didn't talk about it on this day, that means it won't get talked about like weeks or months later, and it's on you if something bad happens. So that's really important on this. And then you have the keys, and then it's yours. I mean, it's yours. Then you have to, of course, you pay your mortgage every month.
Yeah.
But then when you're done, it's all yours.
Yeah. So we talked about a lot there. Went quite into detail on the process. But if I was to summarize it, I would say being flexible, because, like you say, Paris is a very, very competitive real estate market.
Yes.
And being able to have the flexibility to, see an apartment at a given time, because you never know when someone might make a move.
Yes.
And you also, you want to see what the apartment's like
Exactly.
during the day, the evening, night, if you get the chance, what the neighborhood's like, etc.
Yes.
Second thing, so being prepared. So, you're talking about you got like 3 months to get your mortgage sorted.
Yes.
But of course, we know French bureaucracy and administration is a long, slow
Yes.
process.
Yes.
So, I mean, in my case, I was starting to apply for mortgages. Like, as soon as I put the offer in on my apartment, I was applying for mortgages, so that I knew that, in the amount of time, I could make as much process as possible, and I had offers on the table that I could bring and say, yeah, look, I've secured this financing. And then, of course, being well informed and understanding everything, like you said, making use of your notary, and if you've got a lawyer, to understand
Super
every little
important.
bit of detail.
Yes.
Make sure you know the property in and out, like on that visit, checking that everything works. And then,
Yes, that's it. And one last point maybe that I forgot to mention is just like you said, because of French bureaucracy, don't hesitate to take as much advance as you can, like on the paperwork, on the money transfers, or anything you can, because you never know, like especially for me, like the whole deal like almost was finished during summertime, and during like in July, when people start to leave for vacation.
Yeah.
So you just want to make sure you don't like get a bad surprise, like people say, well, let's deal with it in 1 week or in 2 weeks or something. You're like, no, I don't have the time, because if you don't have like all the money transfer on the day, that means you cannot sign. That means you won't get the keys. So
exactly.
Yeah. I think especially in France, don't hesitate to take as much advance as you can.
For sure.
Yeah, because that will help you.
Okay, so you mentioned that you got a mortgage. I wanted to talk a little bit more about this process. We don't have to go into super detail, but just so, people who are looking to buy a property in France and who are thinking they might go down the mortgage route, like what that might look like for them. So we talked a bit about like the process of applying for the mortgage before, but what about in terms of where can you go to get a mortgage? What kind of down payments, what kind of interest rates can you expect? Are there any particularities with French mortgages that people need to keep in mind?
About mortgages. So you have like really like two ways to get one. I mean, of course it's banks. Mostly, I think in France it's banks that are going to get you a mortgage, and you have two ways to get them. Either you by yourself, you go see like each and every bank you know, and you present your case, and they like give you answer within like I think it's like within 2 weeks. They say, okay, we might be able to make you an offer or not, or you go to a mortgage broker, which who has already his or her contacts in all these banks. They kind of present like a profile corresponding to your needs, and then they see which banks answer like positively to their request. The advantage with the broker is that obviously with the contact the broker has, you tend to have like better interest rates than if you go by yourself. And they know, of course, they know how to talk about your profile and stuff better than you would do yourself, when you can unfortunately like not presenting things well for a bank. But of course the downside is that you have to pay him once you get the mortgage. You have fees that you pay to the broker. So if you have like the small budget, might not be the best thing to do, because it will add up on top of everything you need to pay already for the property. And of course, if you go to see the bank by yourself, just like we said, so the downside is like it's time consuming. You might not be able to present things well, but you really have hands on everything. That's I mean all the answers the banks are going to give you. So it's up to people to choose what they prefer on this. So once you've done that, yeah, you take the best offer you could get. I'd say yeah, how it works in France. I don't know how about other countries, but I know usually in France, so the offer usually look like you have like an interest rate that is normally fixed, and if it's not fixed, ask for it to be fixed, because it's better, especially at the moment where like interest rate are going off the roof. I mean, they're still low, like comparing to 30, 40 years, I guess, but like comparing to already like last year, they've already doubled and stuff in France. So if you can get a fixed rate, it's better. And then they add up conditions for you to get the mortgage. So, for example, usually you need to take the mortgage insurance with the same bank you get the loan from. You also have to put all your main income into that bank as well, which kind of makes sense, because if you're gonna pay the mortgage every month, you have to make sure like you put the money at the same spot. And depending on the banks and the offers, they can ask for you to subscribe to some more insurance, or like condition, like bank products, bank offers around your bank account.
Yeah.
So it could be like the credit card, it could be the home insurance, it could be like some kind of guarantees that you could get like with the loan. So really, that could depend on the bank, but like mostly it's really like the interest rate for the mortgage, and then for the insurance rate for the mortgage as well. Then they add up. It gives you like a total TAEG in French, but like a total like insurance rate for the whole operation.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it works. So and then they of course they give you like, so the mortgage can last for up to from 15 to up to 30 years in France. Because above that they consider like it's too risky or it's too long. So you never know. And so they give you I forgot what's it called in English, but un échéancier. So you get to see every month what you're going to pay.
Yeah.
So the capital, the interest rate, so you have all the detail.
Yeah.
And then you have like a bunch of paper to sign, like to make sure you understand what are the conditions, what are you going to pay, what will happen if ever you get you delay one of the payments, what happens if you want to pay in advance some of the payments. So it's really important to look at that too, because again, just like with deal with the property, you never know like how your situation is gonna evolve. So if you have like any question on it, it's better like to ask and like negotiate with the bank, because it's usually like standard conditions, and if you talk to them, you might be able to do something with some of the conditions. Like not all of them, I don't know, but I think at least you can say, okay, how I'm not sure how this is work. Like this works fine for me. Can we do something about it? I mean, so and that's the good thing with the broker as well. He or she could help like the person with that, and like of course, like first of all understanding the conditions, and then say, okay, is it something that is like like changeable or not? So
Yeah.
so yeah, basically that's it for the mortgage, I guess.
Cool. And do you know if it's possible for people who are non-resident in France to be able to take out a mortgage with a French bank?
I know it's possible, but I heard it's pretty hard.
Okay.
Because once you get to talk to the banks, one of the first things they check is, of course, so your income, your situation, and I think the fact that if you're resident in France or not, I think it plays a big role in that. Because some of the if you ask like at the counter of the bank, they will probably at the desk, at the bank, they probably say yes, because they tend to like want to attract people. But if you actually talk to the back office that allow the mortgages or not, they're like stricter. They're like they have like more conditions, and I heard from the brokers that they're not too fond of like giving mortgage unless you have like an excellent situation, and that's like money's not a problem for you. But if like you regular person, I think it can be a problem. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Cool. All right, Raph, you've given us some really great insights in today's interview.
I hope so.
Are there any last things that you want to say? If there's any maybe tips that you could give or thoughts that you could share with people who are looking to buy an apartment?
Yeah, sure.
Based on your own experience?
I'd say I could say what I wish I knew when I started. So obviously the one part we talked about at first was like really having clear vision of your criterias, and like really like knowing what you're ready to compromise and what you're not ready to compromise. So that will be really important. Secondly, I'd say if you have like anyone that has been through the same process as you're going to nearby, or like one relative, it's really important to discuss with them, because like I feel like the process of owning a property is like, it's not so difficult, but it's very how can I say, like everything is new, and you often get confused if like some of the details or little things are important or not. And I feel like once you've done it once, it's really not that big of a deal, I think. But the first time, you really like, it's really like I was gonna say dark, but like it's really like you have like a lot of questions, and if you know someone that has been through it like before you, it can be very insightful just to know if like some of the things are important or not. And then I say thirdly and last thing is like really not being scared to ask questions, and to be a bit like bold, or like ask bluntly some of the things, because you never know, like some things that can turn out bad. So like whether it's about like the actual place or about the one of the conditions in the contract, it's really important to understand everything you can understand, everything, the consequences, and like ask a lot of questions, because these people around the sale are like normally here for that. So notary, the broker, the real estate agency, like anyone, like they have to answer these questions. So don't go and sign like something where you think half of it it gets sorted out later. It's sure if you understand like most of it. So that would be my 3 tips.
Perfect. So guys, I hope you found this video interesting and insightful, and I hope that you take a lot away from what Raph has shared. Leave a comment and let us know what you found the most interesting and what has helped you. Now, why not check out my other videos, and if you're not yet subscribed and you want to see more content like this, then make sure you hit the subscribe button with the notification bell so you don't miss a single update. Alright, now I know you've been wanting to do this for a while, so I'll see you on the next one.
And let's get this money.